Fabio Vieira proved that, you know, I'm here, boss. Like, so. Okay, so you mentioned some of the players that Mikel had brought on that changed the game for us. Let's start by talking about Fabio Vieira, main catalyst when he came on, and you know he won the penalty that Saka scored. He provided an excellent assist for Eddie Nketiah's goal. Talk to me about Fabio Vieira, and do you think this cameo from him almost embarrasses Kai Havertz, and you know, I guess ultimately what we want to see from Kai Havertz? Fabio Vieira, a player that's been in our ranks now for, you know, just over a year, just came on and done it. The same guy for half the price.
Bro, I think it's like, first and foremost, we spoke about Kai Havertz not really seeing him. You saw Vieira when he came on. If he's not getting collapsed for the penalty, he's making through balls. Even at the end, he was demanding the ball to take a shot. He's asking for the ball. That's probably the most like intense I've seen him. And it was amazing to see, because like you said, when we've done our Googles, we can see that this guy is like a final third monster. You know, good finishing in and around the box, great assists, great passing, stuff like that. And unfortunately, Havertz was just, I don't want to come across too negatively, but he was playing very negatively. He didn't seem confident. He kept playing like bounce passes when there wasn't the opportunity for a bounce pass. There was a time in the second half, and I think Saliba's played it into his feet, and he's got the well at his back, acres of space, and he hasn't checked, and he's tried to play like a pass back to Rice, who's got like two players around him, and then ultimately we lose the ball. And obviously Vieira comes on and he does upstage him. And I think with the way Havertz has been playing, which hasn't been exemplary, for 65 million, for what we thought in terms of, well, at least keep Xhaka's level, I don't think he's done that as of yet. And so I think Arteta has a job to protect this guy, because at the end of the day, he's now our asset, he's now our player. We are going to have to make sure that this guy bangs for us. So if he needs to sit down for a second, sit him down, let him come off the bench, let him galvanize the team at a different time of the game. So yeah, all props to Fabio Vieira. It's a shame that it didn't result in a win, but he was an absolute monster when he got up there. It just showed so much promise, and that's what I'm really banking on him. I'm hoping he's going to be able to do absolute bits this season if he can keep that up, and maybe even get himself a cheeky start against United.
Do you think he deserves to start against United? Is that where this should go now?
I think there's definitely a conversation that needs to be had about who's going to play left day. I don't know if, for me, it's a great cameo, and I'm not saying Havertz maybe has done more, but at the same time, we have to take in like tactical decisions in terms of like what will be best in terms of us attacking. But off that cameo, I think you would say, he deserves at least to be in the hat, or at least to be in the conversation. But we've got to take training and all that sort of stuff into consideration as well. But I'll definitely be like, he's definitely put his name in the hat to start if he can keep that level up. And again, Havertz come off the bench, and if need be, you show us that this is what the competition is there for. So definitely he should be in the hat for a place against United.
Do you think if our next game, I mean, I don't know what Mikel's gonna do, but is our next game key as to who he'll pick? Does he keep going with Havertz? Does he persist with Havertz, or does he now try someone else?
I think this was the thing. I think he's got to protect Havertz, because the fan base, I think we still see him as if we're playing with 10 man and there's a Chelsea player in the team who just happens to be kicking the ball our way. You know what I mean? I still feel like people see him like that. He wasn't great for Chelsea, and he's bringing that same energy at the moment. Again, we spoke about him in the Palace game and the movement and stuff, but it just feels like that's great if you were 18 years old and you first came into the team and you're feeling your way around and you're getting some good touches here and there. You're making a couple of mistakes, but we can see the movement's great and there's potential. This is not what we really signed you for. And again, I'm giving him time. I'm still saying, like, it's not the end of the world. I don't want him to not do well. But at the same time, for me, I feel like if we start Fabio Vieira, for example, and he has a storming game, then Kai's going to have to hold bench. I think it's just about what's best for the team right now. And I don't know if Kai is in a position to give that right now. And again, not to say he's bad, but there's people that are doing better. So, and, you know, maybe you can't speak to Smith Rowe or even Trossard was unfortunately very poor. But even we can't speak to them, man. Fabio Vieira came on and did bits. So maybe that's enough to say, hold bench, my boy.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Like Fabio Vieira, especially towards the back end of last season, a lot of fans weren't happy with what he had contributed to the team for the season. It was a very small sample size, but I just don't feel like when we did see him that small sample size, people weren't quite convinced. And he's taken a year to kind of get used to the league and the team and all of that kind of thing, and he's pulled out a cameo performance from the bench that he done against the weekend. Now, granted, it's a one-off. It's not like he comes off the bench and does this every time.
Yeah, of course.
It's a one-off. So I think we need to take that as well with a pinch of salt. But what is good to see, I think, like you mentioned as well, is competition in the team. It's like, right, I'm showing the gaffer, like, you know, I can come off the bench and be another option. I know, you know, Mikel has his favorites of who he likes to bring off the bench in order and stuff like that. But Fabio Vieira proved that, you know, I'm here, boss. Like, so it might not have to. You might not proceed to this Havertz experiment if you know I keep pulling out these performances. Against United, I don't think he's gonna start. I don't think he's gonna start at all. I don't think
getting the nods.
I think it's funny because I'm not saying I don't think Vieira will start, but I'm not sure if we go ahead with the Havertz stuff.
Yeah, we
may resort back to a midfield three of an Odegaard, Partey, and Rice.
That's what I would want to see personally. I think, again, I'm reverting back to the normal thing. We bring Gabriel back in. I mean, and then Zinchenko should be fit enough now to start. We go back. Zinchenko does the inverting. We've got a more solid midfield now with Partey.
Ben White at right back.
And let's absolutely send these boys back up the M6 or whatever dumb motorway it is, you know, with their head between their legs and stuff like that. So yeah, I just think we revert to that for that game anyway. But off that cameo, Fabio Vieira's got to be the first name off the bench, maybe alongside a couple others. But yeah, I think especially that assist for Eddie's goal, I thought it was going to get cut out. But it showed just how pinpoint that pass was. Yeah, and you could tell he was, because I don't know if you noticed, maybe watching highlights.
He just stood there and was feeling himself.
Brother, you know when you're like, yeah, like I'm not, like he didn't know, like no, he said, yeah, I'm not. He just stood there, just looking at the crowd. I was like, yeah. He knows he's bossed it. And the thing is that's all it takes. Is that you come on, you win a penalty, or you know you affect the game somehow. All of a sudden your confidence is through the roof. This guy, I can't remember who it was, if it was Ben White, and he's like ran across Ben White and he's literally pointing like, give me the ball, like demanding the ball, that you can't even say, all right, take it. And he's almost scored in like the last minute for us as well, and except a great save by Leno. But yeah, I want to see more of that. And it was even more surprising because we've seen him play on like in Odegaard's position more in pre-season, which I felt kind of suited him coming on into his left. But he played that Xhaka role, shall we say, because Havertz hasn't made it his own yet. And yeah, and absolutely bossed it, man. So yeah, it can only do more good things in his favour if he can keep up that energy. Because like you said, it was like 35 minute cameo. Yeah, we'll obviously need to see more, but it's a great way to start.